Some say Chinese is one of the most difficult languages in the world, and learning it is almost impossible.
So learning Chinese, the most difficult thing.
非常难.
So I'm sort of tone deaf. I can't really hear them.
I think the cultural mindset is the biggest complication for
The
us.
grammar.
知吃思吃都很难
It's just complicated so much.
Only because you're not learning it in the right way. Why not try Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei, and joining me today is, as usual, our Tony Reed. And there's also a special guest for this episode, Tony.
A special guest besides me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you didn't see him or her right now in the studio?
No,
somehow.
I do not.
I'm not really sure how to address this special guest.
Okay.
But it is the world-renowned and most talked about system and technology in the world at the moment, which is ChatGPT.
Yeah, okay. I've heard a little bit about that.
So we'll have ChatGPT with us for this episode.
Hello, Fei Fei. It's great to be joining you today on Takeaway Chinese. I am ChatGPT, an AI language model developed by OpenAI, and I'm looking forward to contributing to today's lesson.
Wow. It's a little bit weird, you know?
Yeah, ChatGPT can't generate audio messages, so the words we just heard is actually dubbed by another artificial intelligence machine. It's helping us.
So that's two.
Yeah, there are two.
So it's a team.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a little unnerving, but all right. I'm not sure what we're getting ourselves involved with. So if I was to talk to this robot or this machine, okay, so this is to the robot. Have you even heard of Takeaway Chinese?
Yes, I am familiar with the podcast Takeaway Chinese. It is a weekly Chinese language teaching show that covers frequently used words and expressions, dialogues, language tips, and the stories behind idioms.
Well, thank you. That's a great explanation, right?
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And shall we get started with a dialogue in Chinese about artificial intelligence?
Well, yeah. I mean, we could just ask the robot to do it, but
Yeah.
I mean, we could. Let's give it a try.
Sure. Here's a simple conversation about AI in Chinese.
你好，我们今天谈论人工智能。
好的，很高兴。
你对人工智能有什么看法？
我认为人工智能将会改变我们的生活，但同时也有风险。
是的，人工智能有可能取代人类，但也有可能帮助人类。
没错，我们需要确保人工智能的使用是安全和道德的。
It was interesting to see a machine or a system, well, artificial intelligence, to do
our jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not really sure how should I feel about it. Like,
Yeah.
should I feel happy and relieved?
I think it depends on the job. If you don't like the job, then
Are they going?
awesome.
Are they going to replace us? Well, it's something we can discuss later.
Yeah.
But first of all, let's go back to the dialogue. And as usual, we'll explain this dialogue sentence by sentence.
Right.
First of all, 你好，我们今天谈论人工智能。
So this is hello. We are talking about artificial intelligence today. Yeah. So ni hao is obviously hello. Woman is we. And then jin tian, this is today, right?
Yeah.
And then tan lun, this is discuss, right?
Exactly.
All right. And then zhen gong, this word zhi neng, is this an expression? This needs to be said together.
Yeah.
Zhen gong zhi neng.
Yeah.
This is, I think, the AI, right?
Yeah, artificial intelligence.
All right.
好的，很高兴。Well, this is a bit weird.
Straightforward, huh?
Yeah.
Is this a weird response? People don't normally...
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, 好的 is just okay or an agreement sound, right?
Yeah.
Sure. And then 很高兴, I mean, that's directly translate to very happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
it sounds right in English.
Right.
But in Chinese, we don't respond with 很高兴.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is an unnatural response.
It definitely
It's like a
is.
Google translated response, right?
Definitely. I think the naturally in Chinese would be 很高兴为您服务 or something like I'm happy to do this for you.
What is 开心?
开心 is also happy.
Do people say that here? Like
yeah, of course.
开心
But 开心 is more casual. It's like, wow, I'm happy today.
Right.
我今天很开心
So 好啊,开心 or something like that, right?
And 高兴 I think in some cases 高兴 and 开心 can be interchangeable. But sometimes 高兴 sounds a little bit more formal than 开心.
Okay.
And then the next sentence, 你对人工智能有什么看法?
So I think this is what do you think of, or what do you think about artificial intelligence, right? So 你对, so I think this is to you.
Is you towards?
Yeah, you towards, but in English we would just say to you, right?
The other side around.
Yeah, 人工智能, this is AI, 有 is have, 什么 is what, and then 看法, I think this is like thoughts. So like, yeah,
what do you
exactly think? To you, do you have thoughts on this AI?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Chinese. And then 我认为人工智能将会改变我们的生活，但同时也有风险。
So this is, I think AI will change our lives, but there are also risks from its applications. Yeah. So 我认为, is that I think?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And I think has other ways. You could say 觉得, is this feel or?
Yeah, 我觉得我认为 pretty much the same thing.
Okay, or 我想.
Yeah.
It's another way, right?
It's another way.
All right. And 人工智能.
人工智能.
人工智能, this is AI. And then we have 将会.
将会.
将会. So normally we just say 会. This means like will, right? But
Well, I think in this case, 将 is actually the will here.
okay. And what is the 会 here?
It means can. Will can.
Okay. And then 改变, this is a change,
Yeah.
right? And then 我们的 is our, and then 生活 is lives. And then we have 但, this is like an abbreviation for 但是, right?
Exactly.
但是 is but sometimes I see it as 但. 同时, I feel like it sounds like a colleague, but
That's 同事 is the fourth tone. And here is 同时 is the second tone.
okay.
It means
So
in the meantime.
in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is like also. 有 is have, and then 风险, I think that's like risks
Yes.
of some sort, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then 是的，人工智能有可能取代人类，但也有可能帮助人类。Wow.
So this is indeed the abilities of AI can be beneficial to humans, but can also be applied to replace human beings. Oh, that's awesome.
That's great news.
Yeah, so 是的, this is like I agree or for sure.
Yeah.
人工智能, this is AI.
Yeah.
有 is have. 可能, I think this is like possibly, right?
有可能 is have the possibility.
Okay. And then 取代人类, so 取代 is replace.
Yes.
Yeah.
取代.
And then 人类 is humanity or human beings. 'Cause
Yeah.
人 is people.
Yeah.
And then 类 is...
Humans.
Okay.
The type of people being the humans.
Okay. And then again, 但, so but. And then yeah is also. 有 is have. And then 可能, possible. And then 帮助, help.
Yeah.
And then 人类 is humans, right?
Yes.
So it's like they could replace them, but can also help them.
Well, I think I would focus on the help part. I think. I'm not really a big fan about the replacing part of this future.
Yeah.
And then the last sentence would be 没错，我们需要确保人工智能的使用是安全和道德的。
So that's right. We need to make sure that the use of AI is safe and ethical. 没错, this is no mistake. Mayo is like don't have, and then 错 is like error or mistake.
Yeah.
我们 is we, 需要 is need, and then we have 确保. Right?
确保, yes.
This is make sure.
Yes.
And then 人工智能 is AI. The, so AIs, apostrophe S. 使用
使用
is like use. And then 是 is 安全. I think that's safe.
Yes.
和 is and then 道德 it should be ethical, right?
道德的 is ethical. That's a whole dialogue. Do you want to give it a try ourselves as humans?
Sure, we can give it a try. I mean, we could let the robot do it, but I'm okay with trying.
你好，我们今天讨论人工智能。
好的，很高兴。你对人工智能有什么看法？
我认为人工智能将会改变我们的生活，但同时也有风险。
是的，人工智能有可能取代人类，但也有可能帮助人类。
没错，我们需要确保人工智能的使用是安全和道德的。Well, there are a lot of things we can discuss about this conversation about artificial intelligence.
That's if the robot will let us talk about it.
Yes, but first of all, we'll have a break. This is Takeaway Chinese with myself, Fei Fei and Tony Reed, and today we have a special guest, ChatGPT. And we'd love to hear from you about your thoughts about the show and probably about our new special guest. You can send your thoughts via email to learnchinese@cri.com.cn. And for more fun Chinese learning, you can also follow us on Facebook by searching Learn Chinese. There are many fun videos and live streams about Chinese learning. And coming up next, let's learn more with ChatGPT and Tony about artificial intelligence, 人工智能. Don't go away, so you'll take some Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei, joined by Tony Reed and ChatGPT. So, Tony, what do you think of the conversation in Chinese generated by the chatbot?
Well, I think that it's kind of cool. I'm not that impressed, to be honest, because I've been exposed to Siri for quite some time, and Siri can talk and say things, and so for me, it's just like, okay, this is just nothing new.
Yeah, but for me, I think the sentences are extremely long in that conversation. It's like they have 人工智能, artificial intelligence, in pretty much every sentence.
Yeah, but we just say AI in China, right?
Yeah, we'll see AI in China because, of course, it's shorter, simpler.
Yeah.
But I guess for machines, they prefer the full name, 人工智能.
Sounds more sophisticated, yeah.
Yeah, and also there are a couple of sentences I think is not really natural in Chinese language, especially in spoken language, like 好的，很高兴. I think we discussed this.
Yeah. We would probably just say 开心, right?
Or 好的. For example, if you say something like, hello, let's talk about this today, I'm like, 好的.
That's it, right?
I won't say 很高兴. It's very English to say, it's a pleasure to be able to talk with you about this today. I'm glad to. It's very English expression.
It sounds like there's a lot of empty words in English, right?
Yeah, but in Chinese, we'll just say 好啊 or 好的. And also, I think there are a couple of words like the use of artificial intelligence is safe and ethical. Is also really sounds really formal and written language as well. I think it also is English. ChatGPT still has a long way to go when it comes to Chinese language, to the Chinese language.
Well, this software is kind of developed in the state, in Western countries, right? So I guess the English language might take precedence at this time, but I think there's a Chinese equivalent in the works too.
I think so. There are, a lot of companies are saying the big chance, the big fuss around ChatGPT, and they also want to cut a slice of the cake themselves.
Sure, of course.
And so the dialogue today is fair enough when it comes to as a machine, or what would you call it? A system? A robot?
Yeah, like an online voice. I wouldn't call it a robot. To me, a robot is something that's like physically in front of you that you can see, and it moves, and it has, physical elements, but I don't know, it's like a digital voice of some sort.
Yeah, actually for ChatGPT is actually a chatbot developed by a startup called OpenAI, and to be able to use these tools on ChatGPT, you need probably use OpenAI, a language model developed by OpenAI. And so we'll have ChatGPT itself to, I think, explain to us about why is it so special.
Yeah, it would be nice to know what's special about it. I mean, I do think that being able to convenience, right? Being able to just say this and that to a certain device, and it turns on your lights, it locks your door, and it does all of these things for you. It makes you feel like you're in a Star Trek film where you can just, just speak and then things turn on and off for you. But on the other hand, I don't know, for me, there's a lot of red flags there for me.
So let's turn to ChatGPT itself. What's so special about ChatGPT?
As a language model developed by OpenAI, I have been trained on a diverse range of text from the internet, allowing me to answer questions and have conversations on a wide range of topics. I have been fine-tuned to generate human-like responses, making it easier for people to communicate with me. I can respond to questions, provide information, generate creative writing, and much more. Additionally, I am highly scalable and can be integrated into various applications, making me an ideal tool for businesses, developers, and researchers. However, it's important to remember that I am an AI language model and do not have consciousness or personal experiences.
Can you say that in Chinese, please?
作为由 OpenAI 开发的语言模型，我经过了对互联网上各种文本的培训，因此能够回答各种问题并进行多种话题的对话。我经过了微调，以生成类似人类的回应，从而使人们与我更容易沟通。我可以回答问题、提供信息、生成创意写作等。此外，我具有高度可扩展性，可以集成到各种应用程序中，因此是企业、开发人员和研究人员的理想工具。但是，请记住，我是一个人工智能语言模型，没有意识或个人经历。
As a language model, I have several limitations. Lack of context. I don't have access to the world's current context. I only have the information that was available at the time of my training, which had a cutoff at 2021. No personal experiences. I don't have personal experiences, emotions, or consciousness. I can only generate responses based on patterns in the text I was trained on. Limited common sense. Although I have been trained on a diverse range of text, I still lack common sense and an understanding of the world in the same way a human would. Bias. I have been trained on the text available on the internet, which can be biased in terms of perspectives and opinions. This can affect the responses I generate. Generating unrealistic responses. Sometimes I might generate responses that are unrealistic or factually incorrect. Despite these limitations, I am constantly being improved and updated to provide the best possible responses and assist with a wide range of tasks.
Wow, that sounds like you have a lot of different functions. I think the bias element was quite interesting, and because that would be pretty bad if a robot developed bias, right? And unrealistic responses. That's something that I can definitely see them doing, because as we just saw today in our dialogue, some of the responses are a little bit unrealistic.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
It's a computer program. But I do think that with time, you get smarter and have more realistic responses. But again, it just makes me feel a little bit 不安全
unsafe.
Yes, because it's just, I think it's, I've seen a lot of films where we get too dependent on these things, and if it gets too smart and it starts functioning on its own, then we're going to have a problem. Because like I said, if it can lock and unlock your door, if it can turn your heat on and off, it could do other things that may eliminate you if you don't give it what it wants.
Exactly. That's what I think a lot of the discussions surrounding ChatGPT right now, especially here in China, is people have this, well, I would say 焦虑, anxiety on some level about, is my job going to be replaced by ChatGPT in the future? For example, for our co-workers as editors, as writers, as news anchors, there are AI have been developed that can do exactly the same job, only faster. And I think at some point we would be asking this question, is this AI going to replace me? 他们会取代我们吗? Yeah, and I know right now, for example, with the dialogue, with the conversation, we can see that the dialogue is really not really natural.
It's not at that point yet.
Yeah, it's not that perfect. But these machines, these robots, they can learn. They can learn, they can 学习, they can keep learning, and with a lot of resources and information. And there is no limitation when it comes to the amount of knowledge they can get.
Yeah.
And
well, recently I just had an experience designing my own website. And I had some problems. And they sent me a bot to answer my questions. Sounds cool, but the problem is the bot can only generate answers that it is fed. And if there are specific answers that you need, it can't process an answer. So you start going around in circles, which is what happened to me. And I got really frustrated. And it was just like, give me a human being. So that, I think once they are able to reach a point where they can not think for themselves, but just they have a algorithm that can deal with just about every situation, then I think they will be...
Well, Tony, I think at that point, that also means these AI have their own consciousness.
Well, that's possible. I mean, if it can develop bias, and I think this bias is based off of the programs, that the tools that it's given. If it doesn't have the tools, then it will just say, sorry, your response is not making any sense. Could you repeat that, please? It'll just say that again and again because it doesn't have a something to give you based off of what you ask. But once that gap has been filled, then it can be a bit more beneficial. But then, yes, I guess the big question is, can it develop real bias? Can it develop like real mood and different things? So it's not that's debatable, but
yeah, exactly. That's, I think, the topic for a lot of the science fiction for a long time. Like, is our technology going to replace us at some point, even prevail us in the future? And I think that's a topic for hundreds of sci-fi novels and movies and dramas.
Yeah, I don't think we have the ability to do that, to be honest. I think that, I think that it's the people that are behind the technology that we have to be worried about, not necessarily the technology itself.
Exactly, just like the dialogue said, we have to make sure the technology is ethical, and I think to be 道德的. But I think that comes to really the people behind the technology, whether they are keeping their ethics in place.
There's a really cool movie that came out last year called Kimmy, and that was really the premise behind it. It was ethics, and should you report if this Chat GPT heard a crime, should it be reported, or should it, does it violate privacy and this type of thing? And so, there's a lot of things that come into play there.
Yeah, exactly. But let's turn to ChatGPT for a moment as well. I'm also curious about whether ChatGPT can teach, can act as a teacher, can teach us any Chinese idioms or sayings.
No, I'm sure that's not a problem. If it's been programmed to do that, it will.
Well, but let's see if there is any Chinese idioms or sayings about artificial intelligence that ChatGPT can give us.
There are not many Chinese idioms specifically related to artificial intelligence. However, here are a few idioms that can be used to describe various aspects of AI. Ren Gong Ji Nen.
人工智能.
This idiom literally means artificial intelligence. It is a commonly used term in China to describe AI technology. Ji Xie Dai Ren.
机械代人.
This idiom literally means, machines replace people. It is often used to describe how AI technology has replaced human labor in certain tasks. Ji Suan Ji Dai Li.
计算机代理
This idiom literally means, computer proxy. It is often used to describe how AI technology can be used to perform tasks on behalf of humans. I hope these idioms provide a glimpse into how the Chinese language describes AI technology.
Wow, that's some impressive idioms, I think quite sophisticated.
Yeah, sophisticated
Not
term.
easy ones.
Yeah, that it was given so it could reproduce it.
Yeah, the first one I think is the constant repetition that we have in this dialogue is 人工智能.
Yeah, 人工智能.
Yeah, artificial intelligence.
Right.
But also I think we have this 机械代人 is also interesting. Machines replace people. Well, I don't think it's actually replace. It's more like doing things for people. For example, in the news industry, right now, a lot of the media are using AI to help them write really short stories, for example, about the stock market, about the weather, the simple ones. And it's fast. And it saves a lot of manpower so that reporters and editors can spend more time doing more in-depth stories. So that, I think, in this case, is really helping us, 帮助我们.
Yeah, and again, if they're able to increase the smartness of these, earlier I mentioned an email bot that was helping me. If you can call and instead of using physical people to answer the call centers, if you have like a request or something, if the robots are smart enough, they can take care of that. Right now, I hate it. Like whenever I talk to a robot, I'm just like, give me a human, But if they get good enough where they can answer all those questions, then that would sideline an entire industry, I think.
Think about it. Right now, like in China, if you call to a bank, well, to most banks in China at the moment, the first person, quote unquote, person that's answer your call is a machine.
Right.
And I think they have this system in place so that they'll tell you what to do and to solve some of the most common problems that most clients have.
Right.
And if you have a problem that's really unsolvable in that system, they'll sort of switch you to a human service. And I think in that case, it's really helpful, right?
Yeah, it can shave off some tasks from the human staff. If you only have, say, 2 people, but the job really entails 5. If you have a robot that can deal with it. But most of the time, I don't even listen to what the robot tells me to do. I just say, agent. Agent. I just keep saying that until they give me an agent.
Because, real agent.
Yeah, because I know that I already know that they don't have the capacity to answer what it is that I'm asking.
And in that case, I think that refers to one of the idioms that ChatGPT provides us is 计算机代理. 计算机 is computer. And 代理 is proxy. And
computer proxy.
Yeah, it describes the technology can perform some tasks for humans.
Yeah.
There are also some traditional Chinese saying that specifically related to AI, artificial intelligence. ChatGPT also give us examples.
There are not many traditional Chinese sayings specifically related to artificial intelligence, as AI technology is a relatively recent development. However, here are a few sayings that can be applied to AI in a metaphorical sense. 机不可失, 时不再来.
机不可失，时不再来。
This saying literally means, a machine cannot be regained once lost, time cannot be regained once lost. It is often used to emphasize the importance of taking advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. In the context of AI, this saying could be applied to the importance of investing in and developing AI technology, as the benefits it can bring may not be attainable in the future. 不断进取，不懈怠。
不断进取，不懈怠。
This saying literally means, make constant progress and never slack. It is often used to encourage perseverance and hard work. In the context of AI, this saying could be applied to the importance of continuously improving and advancing AI technology. 不求新技， xian chu tong jian.
不求甚解，先求通鉴。
This saying literally means, seek not profound understanding, first seek general understanding. It is often used to encourage a broad-based understanding of a subject before diving into the details. In the context of AI, this saying could be applied to the importance of gaining a general understanding of AI technology before pursuing more advanced knowledge. These are just a few examples of Chinese sayings that can be applied to AI technology in a metaphorical sense.
I think the first one is 机不可失，时不再来. That can be confusing for a lot of learners of Chinese.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that you would even say in a colloquial conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably used in
Only
written
in this
languages.
a machine cannot be regained once it's lost, and time cannot be regained once lost.
Well,
Whatever I don't even know what that means in English.
No, that translation is not correct. That 机 here doesn't mean a machine. It actually means an opportunity. That means once you missed opportunity, you can regain that opportunity and that time again. So yeah, you can see ChatGPT still has a lot of learning.
Yeah.
Maybe listening to our, downloading our Takeaway Chinese episodes and start to processing over each episode and language tips.
Yeah. At least just get the basic words down and how it's functionally used. And I think that's what we provide on this show. At least we try to. We go on in English for a little while, but in the first half,
exactly.
we speak more Chinese.
We got carried away about having an AI in our episode, in our dialogue, I guess.
Right.
But it was a pleasure to have ChatGPT join us today.
I'm sure we got to give it a name. This name is too long. ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly.
Just call him Chad.
It's nice to have you, Chad. I hope we can see you in the future.
I hope we don't.
And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei with Tony Reid here in the studio. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can listen to the show and read the script there.
Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and much more. Just search for Takeaway Chinese, and don't forget to leave your comments, questions, and ratings.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
再见.